Fuzz Busting, policing the police since 2022. Brought to you by A Few Bad Apples, reminding you to always drink and drive responsibly. As always, Fuzz Busting does not constitute legal advice, as absolutely no one involved is an attorney.
No, I'm just telling you what's going to happen. No, I'm telling you what's going to happen.
I'm telling you what's going to happen. I'm in there.
I'm telling you what's going to happen.
Hey.
Go in there.
No, I'm telling you what's going to happen when a law-abiding court watcher clashes with a soul-crushing authoritarian. The place, Williams County Courthouse, Williston, North Dakota. The players, Deputy Royce Crone of the Williams County Sheriff's Department, with a name perfectly suited for a Bond villain, and budding law enthusiast Derrick Collier. The source, Audit the Audit, and North Dakota News Now. Check out their links below for more in-depth and no doubt more thoughtful analysis. Most audit scenarios we see these days seem to start with a traffic stop and then head to the courthouse. This one takes a bit of a different route. And so we head to North Dakota, where the nights are cold and the cavity search is deep. It's August 23rd, 2019, and Deputy Crone is clad in denim and perhaps steeped in self-righteousness. Once backup has arrived, he plans to extract from the courtroom Derrick Collier. Because he's being disruptive? No, because he's exercising his freedom to attend a public hearing, and he's daring to do so in Royce Crone's building.
What's going on?
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
So, what's your business here today?
Oh, I'm going to look at court.
Just look at court?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, sitting in there.
Okay, well.
What are you sitting there for?
What am I sitting in there for?
That's why I'm asking.
You told me there was no court today.
This is a court that's got nothing to do with you. This is a civil trial.
It doesn't
So
matter
why are
what
you
it
doing
is.
it?
You can be in there
How
and
come
watch
you were
any court
walking
you want.
around the building and
Because I've
going
never
in
seen this
everywhere?
court. I'm from Minot. Like I was
Yeah?
telling the lady downstairs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're just wandering around sitting in a courtroom where you don't know anything that's going on?
Yeah. Why can't you?
Huh?
What amendment is that? The Fourth Amendment? If
I
I'm
don't
not
know if
mistaken?
I'm not going to quote amendments.
Yet another law enforcement officer vocalizing a seeming disdain for the law.
Was I in there? Was I in there not being
No,
civil?
I'm just telling you what's
I'm
going to
telling
happen.
you.
No, I'm telling you what's
No,
going to
I'm
happen.
telling you what's going to happen.
No,
I'm in there.
I'm
watching
telling you
court.
what's going to
I'm telling
happen.
you.
Hey,
You're going to
hey.
go in there. If you're going to go in there, you're going to be quiet. Put it on here. Go down here.
Let's walk around this corner. Around the corner.
I had no problem with you being in there, but if you start any shit in there, we're going to be back and you're going to be going to jail.
Didn't I
Do you
just-
understand?
didn't I ask
No,
you
do you understand what I
downstairs?
said? Do you understand what I said?
I asked
Do
you.
you understand what I said?
I asked you if there was court today, and you told me no.
This is a civil trial.
It doesn't matter what it is. I
doesn't
can go in
matter.
there. That's
It's
why
none of
there's
your
benches. You
business.
can go see it. It's
It's none of
public.
your business.
It's public,
It's
so
none
it
of
is
your
my
business.
business.
So why did you go to every office?
Why can't I?
Huh?
What's
Why?
the big deal?
Why is your
Why
problem?
can't I?
Why you
Because people don't normally do that. They don't come in here and go to everybody's places.
You walk all over the place for no reason at all.
I'm not most people. I'm going in
I'm
there,
finding that out.
and I asked you if there was court today, and you told me no.
Right, there is
Because
no
I like
court.
to go in Minot a lot and go watch court.
Yes,
So
I
in this
know.
court session, for what?
I want to see your
For
identification.
what law?
I want to see your identification.
What?
I'm
For
asking
what?
you as a peace officer, personal ID, so I know who I'm
For
talking.
coming and seeing?
No, because
My-
you're in
look,
my building.
My name's Derrick, and this is
Your-
our building.
I need your
It's
information.
our building.
We had security concerns in the past, okay? That's what we had. You're right, that is public, okay? But when you're going from room to room, that's unusual, okay? Which is why it's checking on you.
And that's
Now,
okay.
now listen, because that's suspicious activity, we're investigating, that's what we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Now, because of that, you do have to identify yourself, because we're investigating a suspicious act in a government building, okay? So if you ask for identification, you do have to provide it, okay?
Okay, and why, I don't understand. Like, I go in there and you pull me out when I'm
Because
legally
we're checking-
okay to go in
We're
there?
checking to see what's going on, we're investigating.
I'm legally fine to go in there
Yeah,
and
but
watch
we want
court.
to make
And
sure
you
that
pull me out?
we're
Really?
just seeing what your intentions are and what's going on.
For a legally okay act. I don't, they're not, no, it's not suspicious.
It is to me, it is to me, it is to me.
Me and you don't have the same options of what's suspicious. What's suspicious to me is you pull me out of court when I'm in there
What's
watching,
suspicious to me?
not being loud, you talk, No, you're not going to shush me. I let you talk. I'm in there watching court, and you have me come out here so they can.
Repeatedly, the gentlemen fall back into a mutually respectful pattern of taking turns trying to listen to one another, though each time it's a short-lived truce.
Okay,
Just fine.
now it's my turn. You came in the building, all right, you're just walking around, you're going to every office
Okay, and you
and
can't do
everything.
that.
For no reason at all. All right, we have security concerns in here. People just don't walk around.
I'm not most people.
I'm talking now. Remember, it's my turn. Most people don't walk around and go to every office and checking out everything. That is not a normal thing to be done. That is suspicious to me. That's why these gentlemen are here, all right? This is a civil trial. You have no reason really to be in there. There's no reason to be in there.
To be in any courtroom,
Okay?
watching what's going
You're
on.
giving me an attitude whenever I ask you something, then you're going in there. My security concern is that you might start something in there. I've got a full place full of
And I'm
people.
sitting there being civil and quiet so that your security concerns goes right out the window.
As we learned from Audit the Audit, while the right to attend public trials may not be explicitly spelled out in the Constitution,
The Supreme Court has upheld this notion in the past. In the 1980 Supreme Court case of Richmond Newspapers, Inc. versus Virginia, the court held that the First Amendment generally prohibits closing criminal trial proceedings to the public.
You're in my building. for
This is
no
our
reason.
building. This is a public building, not your building.
It's my building.
Public, it's
for
not your
security.
building. It is not your building. So quit saying it's my building. It's not your building.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
I am security here, it's my building.
It's
I'm
not your building.
responsible for this building.
Okay, and
So
when
I'm
I came
checking out
in-
anybody that's suspicious.
And I'm not suspicious. You are suspicious. Treat me like a criminal when I'm not.
Anybody that's suspicious.
And I'm not suspicious. You are suspicious. Treat me like a criminal when I'm not. When they come back and nothing is due on my record, let's go. Let's go public.
No, let's go downstairs.
Let's go public
Let's
right
go
now.
downstairs.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's go.
I think most reasonable people could agree that what Deputy Crone meant was that he was in charge of this building, not that he has ownership of it. Though admittedly, it is sort of a strange thing to keep repeating so fervently.
Officers, I'm done. I just want to go in there. I want to sit.
Well,
This is a county building.
Okay, and it's public. We know
If you're
that.
not here for court and they don't want you here, they can do that.
If you're trespassing, they can do that. I'm not. Or I'm committing a crime. I'm not committing a crime. I like to go to court and
it's
watch.
but our building, their building, whatever. If they don't want you here, they can be like, time to go.
For if you commit, it's like trespassing. If I commit,
You don't have to commit a crime. You don't have to.
Okay.
Okay? Does that make sense?
Still a county building.
So if they want you gone, then you have to leave.
The problem is I didn't do anything.
Right.
I gave you my ID and I was nice. He's more than rude, and you guys are very nice. And I just want to go in there. I want to sit and not like I was. Was I doing anything wrong? I was just sitting in there
Right.
watching. That I'm okay to do.
Right? But you're at the point where, like I said, he's the head of this building, so what he says, you kind of got to do it. Okay?
So let's get your boss then. Let's get your boss then.
Let's go downstairs.
Is your boss? We're gonna go talk to your
Let's
boss.
go downstairs.
We'll go downstairs and figure it
Yep.
out there, okay?
Take the stairs for us.
Why do so many people, given any level of authority from the state, seem so easily exacerbated by the very people they're meant to serve? Maybe to someone like Deputy Crone, public enemy number one is the public, that collective barrel of jackasses we call society.
My boss, my sergeant, is not here today. Therefore, I am in charge right now.
All right.
Okay?
So I was up there not doing anything wrong. As you know, I don't have that. If you're like, hey, you need it, I don't need help. They ran my stuff, nothing came back. It tells you that I'm not a criminal. I've never been to court for stuff other than watching stuff in Minot. That's why when I ask, hey, is there any court going on? You're like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, let me see the building. I'm from Minot. I'm not from Williston, so let me see the building. That's what I was doing. So if I got loud, I apologize. But we know that I can go in that courtroom and I can sit there and watch.
At various times, both men display patience, impatience, hard-headedness, and entitlement. Perhaps the clear distinction, though, is that Collier has every constitutional right to do so, while Crone is likely violating his department's policy whilst infringing on Collier's inalienable rights. If anyone here is the lawbreaker, It sure seems to be
Because
Crone.
when I first approached you and asked you about this, you copped an attitude with me.
No, I
guess
didn't.
you
I
did.
kind of looked at you and didn't
No,
compromise.
you
And
copped
I
an attitude.
apologize.
All right?
And I went up there and I was sitting and I was like, okay, well,
I'm gonna
it's
give you an
done.
option, all right? You go up there, you can sit.
Okay.
I'm gonna be, it's gonna be on camera, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be watching. If I get any hint, any slight hint that there's gonna be a problem, you will be out of here. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Are you not used to talking to people?
Oh, I'm used to talking to people.
I'm not.
I've been here for over 25 years, man. I know about talking to
Did I
people.
cuss at you?
Huh?
Did I cuss at you?
Did I cuss at you?
You just said the F word.
Are you gonna start, the way I talk, then you can just leave. If you're gonna have a problem with the way I talk, then you can just leave.
Am I being unreasonable here?
Gentlemen, I'm out of here.
Yeah, like we said, you got your ID? Brett, you got his ID?
I get it back to him.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to have to escort you out, but you got to go, man. Okay?
We'll get your lieutenant, or where can I go?
My lieutenant?
Your chief, whoever it is. I did nothing wrong.
Okay.
I was in here just looking around, which is
Yeah,
public
like-
property. I can do.
Well, this is my sergeant. You want to talk to him? You can talk to
I'm
him.
the supervisor on the
Okay, and I never got an attitude with him. You seen the way he
The
acted?
great unknown here, of course, is what transpired before the body cams arrived on scene. What if Collier did indeed cop an attitude, or bombastically throw his constitutional weight around? Would that alone be suspicious? And should it be enough to deny him access? Either way, wouldn't the proper professional response be to diffuse the situation, to de-escalate through cordiality and patience, rather than to match perceived arrogance with even more arrogance?
You come into a government building.
With the initial interaction now complete, the aftermath is, of course, just beginning. As for Crone's overall performance, you can probably guess what good old Jimmy Curtilage gave him, and it's hard to argue with that. After all, Crone, at least on certain days, is the head of security at a public courthouse. Are we to believe that he's achieved this post somehow unaware that civil and criminal trials are, except commonly in juvenile court, open to the public? But then he really did seem to earnestly assert that someone with no attachment to the case at hand had, quote, no business in that courtroom. I think he knew better. It's that old ignorant double standard, where ignorance of the law is no excuse for a citizen, and yet it's often a handy get-out-of-jail-free card for Johnny Law.
I'll explain that to you.
What is, let's go to public property, right on the sidewalk, because I want to talk to you guys more.
Okay.
Ahead, both Crone and Collier each have an interesting backstory about how they came to be at the Williams County Courthouse.
What is his problem? And now I'm going to use my freedom of speech here, because come on, guys.
Okay.
We know that
By day's end,
I can go in there
Collier
and
will
look.
take
I'm
his
from
issue
Minot,
all the
I'm not
way
from
to the
Williston.
top. The sheriff himself, Verlin Kawande. Now that's a Bond villain name.
If I said shit and fuck in there, when would I be arrested for disorderly conduct?
I wasn't there. I don't know.
Well, you've seen the body cam.
Throughout the day, Collier manages to get soft concessions from other law enforcement that perhaps the deputy could have acted less reactionary and more professional. These guys seem to have learned, perhaps from traffic stops, the value of admitting nothing.
When it comes to his conduct,
You see, he just said, come on, guys, I'm not doing anything wrong.
Right.
So now I'm going to go get my camera and I'm going to sit here on public property, which we know I can do,
Right.
and record in there. Because this is public property. So if he gets an attitude with it, let's be real here.
Right.
It is public property.
this is public.
This is public property.
Right.
I was doing nothing. Like, this is my problem, right, guys? You ran my ID. I've never done anything wrong. I've never stolen, never done nothing. And when he treats me like I don't want to use the cuss words. Excuse me, a criminal.
Collier's demeanor is, for the most part, polite, which is good. After all, the solution to better police relations isn't for citizens to become assholes too. The contrasting dynamics here are interesting. For the cops, it's just another Friday morning, but for Collier, it's clearly a red-letter date.
Right, but we still come.
Before Collier concludes, he shares with the officers the recent experience that sparked his interest in courthouses and constitutionality.
I almost want to cry here. I was at Walmart in money, right? They were like, give me your ID. I said, no, or not my ID, but let me see your receipt. I said, no, I paid for my stuff. They're like, no, you didn't, you stole. Well, we're going to call the police. Okay. Like you said, you want my ID, I have no problem giving it to you. I don't know if it's going to like open up some can of worms where I can't go on a flight. I don't know. I've only heard, but I don't know. But you know what I'm getting at.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, the cop's going to come. He's not going to give me a problem. Dude, the cop comes and totally treats me like a fucking animal. Like, oh, they know you stole. And for me, it's like, oh, shit. You know? I wasn't doing anything wrong. You guys are just doing your job.
That's all you have to do.
I don't have to comply to...
The incident spurred Collier to learn as much as he could about his rights and how to protect them. Meanwhile, Crone landed at the courthouse following a lengthy stint at the county jail, where he was a central figure in a protracted lawsuit over foot surgery.
I'm not his kid. If I'm his kid, he can talk to me like that.
Right.
He is not going to treat me like that, and it's not fine. It's not okay.
Though it may not be an egregiously dramatic case, it does demonstrate just how malleable our rights truly are. I mean, is there still such a thing as justice in the Rough Rider state? Or has that been an illusion all along? Have we never really left the Wild Wild West? Does the craziness of the times require man-eaters at the gate? And if so, what are they really guarding? And who are they really protecting? On a 100% scale, Collier gets a 95%. Near perfect for remaining calm, being reasonable, and most especially for not backing down. Deputy Crone gets a 15%. After all, he's not the guy who flipped over a pregnant woman's minivan or the psychotic who dislocated a 73-year-old woman's shoulder and then laughed about it while denying her medical attention. Nevertheless, his foolish refusal to allow a citizen access to a public trial is largely inexplicable.
I did nothing wrong.
Okay.
I was in here just looking around.
Perhaps most intriguing about this encounter is how these two strangers became almost instantly associated, each becoming one of the most consequential figures in the other's life and legacy. For better or worse, they are inextricably linked. So what grade would you give them? Let us know in the comments below. Some will instinctively support the story's underdog, while others will likely forever salute those who would serve. But perhaps all can agree, the problems obviously run more systemic than one misinformed deputy. And it just goes to show, fuzzbusting isn't always black and white.